Dr. Ashutosh Dayal, and I'm going to discuss our study titled Assessment of Anxiety and Depression in Patients with Primary Glaucoma at a Tertiary Care Eye Center. So, glaucoma. Okay. So, we don't have any financial or any conflict of interest in the study. Coming to the introduction, glaucoma, as we all know, is a major cause of blindness globally. And as per study estimates, there are more than 80 million people suffering from glaucoma worldwide, out of which more than 12 million are in India itself. It's a chronic, irreversible optic neuropathy, which can lead to potential blindness if left untreated. And as with other chronic diseases, the glaucoma was also found to be associated with psychological disturbances such as anxiety and depression. So various factors such as visual field defects, then chronic lifelong treatment, then treatment-related adverse effects such as the oculocephaly disorders caused by the anti-glaucoma medications. And in a country like India, the financial aspects are also important, as well as a diagnosis of potentially blinding condition can lead to instill fear and anxiety in patients with glaucoma, which can ultimately lead to impairment of the quality of life. Hence, it was essential to monitor and to assess the prevalence of psychological disorders in the patients with glaucoma, which was also the aim of our study. Coming to the methodology, it was a cross-sectional observation study which was conducted in the Tertiary Care Eye Hospital on patients with diagnosis of primary glaucoma who are attending the outpatient department. All patients underwent a thorough clinical examination, including slit lamp examination, tonometry, gonioscopy, Humphrey's visual field examination, and fundus examination. All patients with secondary glaucoma, any ocular disease significantly impairing visual function, any other gross physical disability, and patients with prior history of psychiatric disease or psychiatric treatment were excluded from the study. We utilized the Hodai-Parrish-Anderson's criteria on the better eye to categorize the patients into mild, moderate, and severe based on disease severity. Patients were asked to respond to the HADS or Hospital Anxiety and Depression questionnaires, and the responses were analyzed statistically. The HADS questionnaire in a brief, it's basically a self-administered questionnaire that is used as a screening tool. It consists of two sets of 7 questions each. This A is for the anxiety questions and D is for the depression questions. And each question is graded as per the Likert-like scoring system from 0 to 3. So the maximum marks for every subset is 21 and the minimum is 0. And any score which is equal to more than 8 is suggestive of borderline or doubtful cases, and anything more than 11 is definite cases or the cases with high suspicion of disease. Coming to our results. The baseline characteristics of the population were mean sample size was 200, out of which 51 patients had undergone a prior filtering surgery. The mean HADS-A and HADS-D scores were 4.5 and 4.1. 97 patients had mild disease, 55 had moderate disease, and 48 had severe disease, as per the Hodai-Parrish-Anderson's criteria. Coming to the effect of disease severity on HADS scores, so the blue bars indicate the HADS depression, and reds into the HADS-A scores. And we can see that as a disease severity increases from mild to severe, there is increase in the HADS scores in both HADS-A and HADS-D, signifying that with the worsening of the disease, the probability of developing anxiety and depression is more in the patients. All the differences were significant statistically. Whereas when we compared the effect of treatment duration on the HADS scores, we did not find any statistically significant difference in the HADS scores in the 3 treatment duration groups. Coming to the prevalence of anxiety and depression based on the HADS scale, so we took the cutoff value as more than equal to 8 for as the cutoff for diagnosing as a borderline or suspicious cases. So we found that the 14% patient had symptomatic for anxiety, while 20% patient was symptomatic for depression in the study group. Also, the patient who underwent a prior surgical intervention had poorer HADS, anxiety, and depression scores as compared to those who are only on the medical management. So this might be influenced by the fact that at our center, the surgical intervention was usually done on the patient who had very severe disease, which was not controlled by medical management. The Pearson correlation coefficient between the 2 subscales was plus 0.794, suggesting of a high internal consistency between the 2 subscales. So glaucoma, this study also proves that glaucoma is associated with significant prevalence of anxiety and depression. And some of the other studies which were done previously have also mentioned that a variable prevalence of anxiety and depression from 6 to 64% for anxiety and 7 to 42% for depression. Although these variation might be due to the fact that some studies have used a different questionnaire to assess the anxiety and depression. Also, the study population was different. But we still feel that these prevalence rates might be just the tip of the iceberg, because we might be missing out some subclinical or very mild symptomatic cases. And disease progression was associated with the increased risk of developing negative emotions as seen from the study. But the emotional disturbances appear to be independent of the disease duration. This means that patients with a recent diagnosis of glaucoma can also have the negative psychological emotions, anxiety, and depression. And this was confirmed by studies done by Odberg et al., who found 80% patients having negative emotion on just hearing the diagnosis of the glaucoma. All these factors are attributed to fear of blindness, poor disease comprehension among the population, as well as lack of awareness about the treatment options among the general masses. Hence, the holistic approach, including psychological screening and patient counseling, might be beneficial in the long term in the treatment of glaucoma. Hence, we conclude that patients with glaucoma are prone to develop emotional disturbances. Hence, apart from giving medical or surgical treatment, clinicians should also focus on comprehensive approach consisting of patient education, psychological assessment, periodic counseling to provide patients with a better quality of life. These are our references. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashutosh. I think good presentation and a very basic question. Does the glaucoma induce the anxiety and depression? So what is the mental state of the patient before the diagnosis of glaucoma? Any way of assessing that and knowing whether the patient had an underlying anxiety and depression and the glaucoma was just on top of that?
Sir, actually for that, we'll have to do a psychological workup for the patient, because once we diagnose the patient as glaucoma, then it's difficult to make out whether it's just due to glaucoma or patient.
That's a doubt I had, because suppose the patient has a pre-existing anxiety, depression, and you have the glaucoma on top of it.
Yes, sir.
Does it get worse and so on? Secondly, your questionnaire was in English. Was it self-administered and was it changed into a local language?
Sir, actually we changed it into a local, we changed it to Hindi and Marathi and validated that questionnaire by reverse translation.
It was validated.
Yes, sir. And those patients who were still unable to comprehend the questions, we provide them with a neutral hospital employee who could translate the question for them in the easier words, so that the patient could mark their response.
Any other questions, panel?
Did you differentiate between patients who are well controlled or patients who had too many medications and still progressing?
Sir, actually it was a cross-section study, so we could not do much of the long-term follow-up, like repeated. Actually, we should have done the repeated follow-up of this scale, how the score is advancing in patients who are not controlled by treatment. But since we're a cross-section study, so we did not do follow-up based on the progression of the glaucoma.
Any relation to literacy and IQ level of the patient?
So literacy definitely should have a relationship, but we did not analyze this in this study, as half of the patients that we were catering were from the rural background, more of the laborers and the agriculture workers.
Exactly.
So it was, we could not assess at this time, but maybe next time if you plan a bigger study, we might consider that into the consideration.
I think that is the most important thing which we need to look at.
Yes, sir.